Well, hi there. If you saw my last video about DJI, I mentioned that I was a bit scared to fly my lovely little GoPro 4 Silver on my camera quad, as I was a bit concerned about NAS occasionally flying away. So one of my solutions was get a cheaper camera. And arriving today was this, the FireFly 7S. So I thought I'd take a look at it, see how it compares to this one. So let's do a quick unboxing, and if you've got a GoPro, you'll instantly recognise the type of box here. Ironically, I've actually just got rid of my GoPro boxes, so I can't easily show you what they look like, but almost exactly like this, except the difference being this opens at the bottom. So we have the camera in its housing. What's nice about this is the amount of goodies you get. This big pile. Let's quickly go through them. Some stickers, lens cloth, cable ties, not quite sure why, instructions. This, which I'm not utterly sure, but I think it's like the GoPro frame, which on the GoPro looks like this. One of those sort of curvy mounts like the GoPro has. USB charging cable. One of those little ones. Or a connector to go into one of those. Another one of those. Another one of those but longer. Some sort of clip thing. Not sure what you're clipping it to. Figure that out. Two flat mounts, although interestingly this one is just got a hole there, where this one seems to have a tripod type screw, so presumably to mount that on a tripod and then put your camera in. Extra sticky pads. A metal tether, very useful. These things that came in a bag together, I'm not sure what they are. Maybe it's their impression of a vented helmet strap, I don't know. And one of these which you can use on a bike or a ski pole or whatever, which is nice. Now, I've just looked through the instruction book trying to figure out what those extra bits are for, and although it says instructions for accessories, this plus this equals do that, it hasn't really got anything for those odd little bits, so I'll figure those out at some point. Okay, so looking at the camera itself, and you'll instantly recognise or think, goodness, that's a similar looking case. In fact, let's just have a go at something. So this is the FireFly camera. Let's take it out. Here's my GoPro 4 Silver. So yeah, case looks pretty identical. Let's just see if it turns on okay. Oh, it doesn't quite reach that button. Oh no, it does. There we go. FireFly's turned on. Start recording. Yeah. So case is almost identical, but it's got this one extra button here at the side, and this is because, although very similar, what this one doesn't have is a touch screen. So it has these buttons on the side for doing menuing options. But just looking at cameras together, you can see that they've been built practically identically. Let me just remove the flap there. You'll see the USB and HDMI is the same. SD card's slightly different, and the pin out's the same. Got a slightly brighter screen on a FireFly. Similar. Oh, the GoPro's got a much brighter screen though. It looks a bit blue in the monitor. To me, it's just looked darker. Very similar. So, what I intend to do is, since they're so similar, is mount these up together and get some footage of them both filming. If I mount them both on a piece of wood or something, I should be able to film exactly the same and put them side by side. Just see how the wide angle is, how the colour and well, how the basic video is really, and then we'll try the gyro option in this as well. Okay, a quick update about the frame thing, as I was just experimenting and see what worked on what. So I think the idea of this is to mount everything, well, to be as mountable as it can be. So as it goes in there, you've got normal tripod mounts, top and bottom. So you can also put it on a tripod. I also found out that this thing here will go into here either way up. So an example would be like that, and then you've got a clip on to something. I then found that this initially confusing thing, when it comes apart, that becomes a sort of tripod to GoPro adapter, and this one, I'll see, you can screw into here, and that becomes a normal GoPro type mount. With these sticky mounts, I also noted that you can fit the straps in them. So for attaching something non-sticky, you could use that. The reasons for the Velcro and cable ties are a little bit unclear, other than the fact you can generally sort of tie things on and just go with it, I guess. Anyway, on to the testing. Well, I've spared no expense to get the very best testing rig I can. This is it. I made it from a piece of wood and 4 rubber bands. It works. As long as I can just hold it there and film at the same time, it should give a good comparison. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to walk around my garden because I haven't got anything else to do. Putting both cameras in wide and medium, and afterwards trying the FireFly here with its gyro stabilized mode and see how that works. Although it says 4K on the box, it actually just does 2560p, which is a very odd resolution. Not particularly bothered about that resolution. 1080p 60 is where I am with both of these cameras really in terms of my use. And again, the GoPro, I'm going to have a compare as well with the super wide, which I quite like if I'm sort of filming myself and I want to get all of me in shot, just to see how that compares with the wide of this. I'm not going to do that now because it's 11:30 at night, not that you need to know that, because to you this cut will be instantaneous. For me, I have to wait for the weather and the light. Okay, welcome to my garden in the morning. So the light, it's not great, the sun's just starting to come up. So I thought I'd do this just so I can test the sound. Here's the FireFly 7S, here's the sound, here's the Hero 4. At the moment we're both in, no, I've got the GoPro in super wide. So this is wide on the FireFly next to super wide on the GoPro. Just showing the difference there. What I'm going to do is stop that and put them both into normal wide. Okay, we're now both in 1080 60 wide. So let's have a quick walk around and see how it looks. I can see in the screen that the FireFly has a narrower field of view and it's wide. Get the dog out. Come on then. Come on. Hello Rush. Hello Rush. Yes, I know. I'm now in a mode on the FireFly that says remove fisheye, so I just wanted to see the difference. Still 1080-60 wide, but apparently removes the fisheye digitally somehow, which I'm guessing will make it slightly narrower still if it has to do something to that. That's the rising sun. Yeah, it does that. What are you eating, dog? Don't eat the grass, dude. I'm sure it's no good for you. Okay, so we're now both on medium field of view, and I've turned the fisheye distortion back to off on the FireFly. Let's have a look at how this looks. Still quite a bit narrower than the GoPro. Rush you my model. Okay, so last test, both in 1080-60, no attempt to change the distortion. This time I've got the FireFly with the gyro on, I think. So what I'm going to try and do is have a bit of a jog around. Come here, stupid dog. I'm swinging the camera around. That concludes the test in the garden, because I can't feel my fingers anymore. Let's see how they turn out. Well, of course, you guys can make your own mind up looking at the video about what you thought was better. For me, it didn't come that close to the GoPro, really. Obviously, the field of view was more narrow, which meant everything looked a bit closer. Normally, from a camera quad, I'd be using medium field of view. From that one, I can probably get away with wide and not have props or worry about that. I also saw that the reaction to light was much slower on the FireFly. You could sort of see it stepping through as it went into sort of highlights and sort of shadows. Looked a little bit more jerkier as it was moving around. It wasn't too bad. I didn't see the difference between using normal and this fisheye reduction. And the gyro thing, again, the field of view cut way down, I suppose, to digitally steady that. And it's kind of hard to see if that's going to be useful or not. I do already have an error to correct. I said this wasn't 4K, it came up with 2160p. Just looking at it, 2160p is 4K. I got a bit confused because when I looked at the screen to change the modes, it had 2.5K and then 2160p, so it talks about K and then goes back to P. What is it, Siri? Which is weird, but as I found out, 4K is the measurement approximately of horizontal pixels. So I checked out the resolution of doing one of those 4K footage pits and compared it against what it should be, and it was right. So it is a 4K camera, albeit at 24 frames a second. So if you're really serious about filming in 4K, you probably want a better camera, to be honest. So where's this leave us? Look, fits in the gimbal, not a problem, all good. And I intend to be flying this weekend in order to test this out and see what the footage looked like, get more of an impression than just wandering around the garden. However, there's a problem. If we go back and examine the two cameras again, and especially when I examined them side by side and looked at the USB layout, I just looked at it and said, yeah, it's the same and it's the same pinout. And it is the same pinout, apparently. Unfortunately, it's a different USB connector. I think GoPro uses a mini, the 7S uses a micro. And because I need a very specific right-angled one so it can still fit flush against that gimbal, I can't simply whip one up. I've had to order one, and that's going to take about 2 weeks to come from China. So I'll have to do a part 2, I'm afraid. So I thought I'd put this footage out there. You can have a look. You can decide if it looks crap or doable. And as of the next couple of weeks, I'll get it out on that big quad. I might put it on a mini quad just to see how it is hurtling around, so I can compare that to something like the GoPro Session. And I'll get back with that in a few weeks. Sorry, delay, but this is a pretty long video already, isn't it? So I think we ought to wrap it up there. So I will see you next time in another video. Bye for now.